What's going on, everybody? It's Professor Gnome, and today I wanted to do a fun deck and cover a card we haven't really looked at in a little while. Kind of do something fun for Halloween and the spooky season that is this upcoming week. I guess this month, but more importantly, kind of this next week or so. And I want to look at Cofagrigus, and this card is really interesting because it allows you to do a couple different things. It allows you to use the Hollow Hands attack that does 110 damage, but you get to place 5 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon any way you like. So we're spreading 50 damage out along the bench, whether that's putting 50 directly onto a single target or just spreading damage counters around. It can be really annoying for our opponent to have to deal with, especially if they're playing a lot of low HP basics. Being able to just stack up damage can be really frustrating for them to have to deal with. But on top of that, we also have the ability Golden Coffin. What this does is that if this Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack of your opponent's Pokemon, so it doesn't work if you get like poisoned in between turns or something like that, but it obviously if you get attacked and you get knocked out, then what you get to do is you get to search your deck for any card that you want and you get to add it to your hand. This is really good because it allows you to set up multiple turns over and over again, where if you're getting KO'd, you can just search out something. If you just need more cards in your hand in general and you're searching for stuff, you can grab yourself your Fezandipiti for the next turn, be able to play that down. If you just need a new Cofagrigus and you already have some of your other cards set up, like your Yamask already powered, you can just get yourself a new Cofagrigus right away. Or at the end of the games, you can even grab yourself an Ursaluna and help take those final knockouts and prize cards. One of the other things that makes this deck so much better now too is that Dusknoir is around. And so what you get to do is you can go Curse Blast for 130, and then what you get to do on top of that is you can either attack into something with Hollow Hands and knock that out. So on top of that, you'd be doing like 240, which is pretty nice. But more importantly, what you can do is snipe out Pokemon on the bench, things like Rotom that become very common, things like Squawkabilly or Lumineon, like all those kind of supporting EX and V cards. What you can do is you can use Dusknoir, put enough damage on them that when you attack with Hollow Hands and you do the additional 50 damage, then you're actually taking knockouts on a lot of those cards, and it can be really impactful to be able to snipe those kind of things out. Things that are also going to help us in this deck, we obviously are running the Xatu. This gets our cards powered up a little bit more quickly, but also allows us to draw 2 cards when we use the ability. That helps out a lot. And then we also have Radiant Alakazam, because this card is kind of broken in decks like this, where we get to move 2 damage counters around and be really annoying. This deck also works really well into things like Terrapagos, because they're going to have so many low HP bench targets that we're going to be able to move things around and be a nuisance too. But yeah, that's pretty much the list. Be sure to let me know what you think of the list, or anything that you know, like any changes that you would make to it. Be sure to let me know what you want to see next on the channel. I'm probably going to be covering Gengar next, just keeping up with the spooky theme. But if there's a different kind of darker ghost deck that you'd want to see, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. I will be doing Roaring Moon as well sometime this week to fill out the request that somebody had left in a previous video. I apologize for not knowing your username off the top of my head right now. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to give a special thank you to the channel members. Thank you guys so much. That additional level of support goes a really long way, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for that, and it means a lot. And yeah, for anybody interested in this list, it'll be down in the description below, as well as a link to the community Discord. And yeah, and for the YouTube algorithm, all that kind of stuff, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of YouTube stuff. And yeah, that's just about it. I will see you guys all in game number 1 in a moment. I'm trying to make these intros a little bit shorter, and things like that. So I think I'm getting better at it, or maybe they're just getting longer. I'm not sure. But I will see you guys in game number 1 in just a moment. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 1, and we're going to be going first. We see... I prefer to lead Duskull in these situations, because at least I can pop, like, myself to get myself out of the active. We do have Natu, which is good for the future. We're up against Iron Thorns. depending on what we can get into, this matchup's not that bad. We're going to get rid of these and these so we can Ultra Ball. Do we have... We have one energy in hand. So that makes me want to go Yamask for now. But I think we're just going to have to play it slow, go Cleffa here. And pass. Our hand's not very good. Now, if we can draw ourselves into... If we draw ourselves into, like, Arven, then we'll be fine. Because the main thing is that we're going to be able to survive this turn. Like, regardless of what happens, we can't really get knocked out. So, we can place an energy onto the Duskull, retreat that out, go Cleffa, and get ourselves like a whole new hand to work with. Obviously, the Lost City is going to hurt us, but they didn't get an energy down, which is huge for us. That does give us another turn to work with. So what I think we're going to have to do here is retreat the Duskull, bring in the Cleffa, we'll go Ultra Ball, so that way we can guarantee the Yamask. Place that down so we have all our pieces kind of set up. We can Grasping Draw, and we get ourselves the Hyper Aroma as well as the Arven with double energy. So we're in a pretty good spot now. There's only one energy attached. We also have the Night Stretcher as well for future turns, provided we're able to bump the Lost City. But even if we're not, it's not the biggest deal in the world. So we can go Buddy Poffin here, grab ourselves one more Duskull, one more Yamask. We can go Hyper Aroma, grab ourselves one, and one. Getting all of this evolved. So that way, on our next turn, we can just find Dusknoir and just get that evolved right away. We can go Natu here, Clairvoyant Sense. Place that onto the Cofagrigus, get ourselves 2 more cards. Place down the energy, go ahead and retreat. Bring in Cofagrigus. We can go Arven here. We'll get ourselves a Rare Candy, and we'll grab ourselves we'll grab Devolution. I think that's the best thing we can grab for right now. And then what we'll do is go Hollow Hands. Because ideally what we could do on the next turn, as long as if our Dusclops doesn't get knocked out, we'll be in a great spot. If it does, it's not the worst thing in the world because we still have access to like the Rare Candy and things like that. I assume they're gonna want to go. Okay, I thought they would go for like Natu or something like that, but they didn't. They're just gonna do the attack onto the Dusclops. But even with that, that's fine. This is also not the biggest deal for us. There's a lot of cards that we don't really need. We can We'll get rid of the Night Stretcher at this point. Since it's not really going to come up and matter all that much, the only thing it really gets us is the Cofagrigus. Unfortunately, we do lose out on our Duskull. And Dusklops by extension. We know for a fact that they do still have the... Like, we know for a fact they still have the Lost City in hand, so it's not really worth playing Lost Vacuum at the moment. I'm just going to go ahead, Counter Catcher, go Hollow Hands here. That'll put these both in range that I can KO them with just like a single attack, making it so they have to play Penny on this turn or the Super Scoop Up Cyclone to kind of save one of these. They attached onto the bench, which means I assume they're going to pick up the active or just let it go down. They missed the Counter Catcher. The judge is fine with us. We do get Dusknoir Arven. That's huge. Or Ivan. Because that means I'm going to be able to take out both of these. I feel like De-Evolution's a waste there. So we'll go Cofagrigus. Go Cofagrigus again. We can go Xatu. And then we'll Clairvoyant Sense first, just to see if we're able to get what we want. We do get ourselves another energy, so we can place that down. We'll go Arven for the Rare Candy. We can go Rare Candy for Dusknoir. We'll pop the Dusknoir. A little bit of an overkill, but it's fine. We give up one prize here, but we're about to put ourselves in a position that we're totally fine with, because we're now even in prize cards. We get ourselves another Iono as well as an Earthen Vessel, which is nice for us because it allows us to unlock Xatu on the following turn. We get to go Hollow Hands here again, knocking out another one of the Iron Thorns, bringing us down to 2 prize cards, and that's going to be the concede. So we're able to just kind of prep things, knock them out. Obviously, we would have, we could have gone about this in a little bit of a different way, but, Dusknoir popping for the overkill is still totally fine, especially because we lost out on the Dusklops earlier. But yeah, that's going to be game number 1, and I'll see you guys in game number 2 in just a second. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 2, and our opponent's going to be going first. We open double Yamask with not too much else, so hopefully we can top deck a supporter or something like that. We see Pidgey from our opponent, so we can assume we're up against Charizard EX. That's the number 1 deck that plays Pidgey, but it could also be Dracopult. It could be a couple different options, so we'll see what it is. There's an Artisan, which now I'm not really sure. They didn't do anything with it. Is it just going to be like a Pidgeot control? But I don't think they run Artisan. What is happening? Are they just gonna, like, pass here? Okay. I mean, I'm certainly confused. So I think we just go Cleffa Natu. Right? We use Artisan to get ourselves the Duskull. We'll go Switch, bring in Cleffa. Use Cleffa to get ourselves a couple cards. Because we have Earthen Vessel to get ourselves... Okay, there's a Luminion. I assume this is going to get them like Iono or Research. They go Arven. I'm really not sure what I'm up against. Because if it was Charizard, they would have used the Artisan to get a Charmander at the very least. Like, the fact they Artisaned for nothing. Teal Mask. Okay, so it's gotta be Pidgeot, like, control then. Would have to be my guess. Which is only bad for me because I don't have a way to get rid of Cleffa. Like, I don't have a way to get Cleffa off my board. So I have to remove the Wellspring as soon as possible. Unless they just go like Torrential Pump here. I guess it would make sense. Oh, okay. The fact they didn't knock out the Natu there is pretty good for me. So we'll bring Natu in. We'll go Arven for this and this. We'll go Hyper Aroma for this and these two. We can evolve that. We can evolve both of these. Throw this down. Then what we can do from here is go Lost Vacuum. We'll actually keep that for now. We'll get rid of Fezandipiti only because of the fact that we don't want to really be stuck in the active, like getting sobbed over and over. We'll remove that. Then what we can do is go Earthen Vessel. We'll get rid of the Cofagrigus for now. It doesn't really do anything, and we may want to be able to hold on to the Ultra Ball for later. Getting rid of the Sparkling Crystal is going to be kind of big for us, making it so the Wellspring isn't as much of a direct threat. We'll go double energy here, retreat, bring in Cofagrigus, go Hollow Hands. And then what we'll do is, for right now, I'm going to put all the damage onto the Pidgeot. So that way, on my next attack, I can go Hollow Hands, put the damage onto Luminion, and then 10 onto the Pidgeot. Make it so that way I can go for Devolution later on in the game. And also have this in range that I can drop the Dusknoir later on. And now I'm not as worried. Like, they can go Sob here, but they shouldn't be able to Torrential Pump me. They can use their, you know, they can go ahead and get themselves a, yeah, like Penny to pick that up. They can bring in Mimikyu if they want. I can bring in Xatu or something else to KO it. But this is also fine. So, yeah, what I'm going to do is actually bring in this. I can just start moving damage onto the Mimikyu. I can power up the Alakazam, so that way it can just kind of get KOs on its own. And then what I'll actually do here is I can go Counter Catcher to be annoying. I can even go Artisan here for... I don't have any Duskulls left, never mind. I don't really want to the Super Rod for a Duskull. Like, I'd rather just wait for a Rescue Stretcher or something like that. I'll get rid of the Mimikyu like that. Grab myself one prize card. Since one of the other things too is that, like, Radiant Alakazam will do enough damage that I can bypass the what's it called? I can bypass the Wellspring if that's like what they want to do. So, in this case, what we'll do is go... Do we want to Painful Spoons here? I don't think so. I think what we can do... Actually, yeah. We'll go Painful Spoons here. We'll start to stack some of the damage. Then what we can do is just go ahead and go Hollow Hands. The Hollow Hands is not to damage the Mimikyu, it's just to put the damage onto the Pidgeot. Mostly because of the fact that what we want to do on the next turn is we can just go for the TM Devolution, knock out the Pidgey underneath, remove the Quick Searching ability that they may want to have access to. The only thing that could be annoying is if they go for... Okay, so they do have the Mist Energy. That will protect the Pidgeot, at least for right now. What did they get rid of? They got rid of... nothing I, like, absolutely needed. We can just go for a Boss's Orders, though. Once, you know, a little bit later on. Not having the ability to remove the Pidgeot makes things a little bit more annoying, for sure. But it's fine. We're just going to kind of sit here, stack damage for a little bit. It's not the the worst thing in the world for us. What we'll actually do is, at this point, we are just going to go Super Rod, just so that way we can get the Duskull back. Then we can Buddy Poffin, bring it back out. Just so that way it's prepped, we can go Dusklops after and do that as well. Hollow Hands, doesn't really matter from this point because of the Mist Energy. What we really want to do is just get one more energy so we can go Radiant Alakazam. We'll retreat out the Cofagrigus, bring it in, knock this out, and then we'll be pretty much fine for the rest of the game. There's an Eerie that can get rid of the Ultra Ball. But what the main play from this point is that if we can get Rare Candy Dusclops, or Dusknoir rather, what we can do is drop the 130 onto the Pidgeot, boss it up, and attack into it, and finish it off that way as well. So, for right now, we can just pass. We're waiting on drawing either an Energy or Ultra Ball or Dusclops, or Dusknoir rather. The Iono reshuffle is a little bit annoying, just because we're just stuck in a longer game state. Though we did get ourselves Earthen Vessel, Rare Candy, and Dusknoir. So if we get lucky and off the Earthen Vessel we can get ourselves 2 energy, use the Xatu, power up our Radiant Alakazam, and get ourselves the boss's orders, then we're going to be in a great position. Because if we can take out the Pidgeot, the game is pretty much over. So what we'll do is we'll go Ultra Ball, get rid of these. Grab ourselves a Xatu. Doesn't really matter, we're just looking to thin our deck out as much as we possibly can. And get it reshuffled so that way our boss's orders isn't at the bottom of our deck. We can go Clairvoyant Sense here. We'll go Energy onto this Dusklops. We do have the option of going Dusknoir here in order to knock out the Mimikyu and getting one attack into the Pidgeot, but it doesn't really matter yet. So we're just going to pass our turn for right now. We'll have another chance at was a little bit not great. Because I'd love to be able to just go like raw switch right into Alakazam. And I mean, I can still do that and that may be the play that I make. The main issue there is I don't have... I would need a couple of different things to like replace the energy I was going to use in order to do that. But that may be the aggressive option I need to make. Yeah, I think that's going to be my best option. I can go Radiant Alakazam here. We'll go Clairvoyant Sense. Throw the energy onto this Cofagrigus for right now. We do have Night Stretcher, which is nice. That will get us one more. But we'll hold on to that for... do we want to? Because the main issue now... is I don't want to get Eeried and then lose out on the Night Stretcher. So I think I just go grab the energy now. If it gets put back into my deck later, it's fine. No, I'll just attach it. It's fine. I don't need the draw power. We'll go Mind Reader here, or Mind Ruler. We'll be able to knock out the Mimikyu. We're staying even in prize cards. Okay, perfect. There's the other energy we need, so we can't get boss trapped from this point. Which is was my other main worry. But with Alakazam in the active and a Dusknoir present, we are going to be able to KO this. They obviously can't pick it up. If they bring in Mimikyu, we can still KO it with the Radiant. And the one thing about Radiant Alakazam that's also very, very good is the fact that it does more damage based on your opponent's hand size, and obviously Pidgeot, Control, and other control decks just build up such a large hand that they're going to just, you know, run out of options anyway. So what we can do here is that we're going to just go Cursed Blast, put the damage onto the Pidgeot, knock ourselves out. This will give them another card into their hand, and rack up enough damage that we'll be able to KO the Pidgeot. Once they select a prize card, the game will be over. Weird that we've run into two control decks back to back. I feel like this video is going to get very long. Alright, now they're doing the final stall play where they just don't take a prize card because they know the game's over. Brother, please. You know, it's funny. I thought I was going to be the haunting thing on the board, but little did I know. Alright, so that's going to be game number 2. We'll jump into game number 3 in just a second. I think what would have been their best option is, instead of going for the Torrential Pump right away, they should have just started with going... like, they should have just started going Sob right away. Because if that was the case, we probably would have just lost. Like, it would have been such a battle to go double Dusknoir onto the, like, Wellspring. Especially if they could, like, penny it, so we'd need both Dusknoirs on the exact same turn to knock out the Wellspring and then bring in something that could attack after. If they were just Saw-blocked us. But, because, like, you place the double turbo down, you go Sob, so it's doing no damage, so it just keeps Cleffa locked there indefinitely, and it would have been a really, really hard play to get out of. So definitely like saw blocking the Cleffa was their way to go, and the fact that they torrential pumped it away, along with the Dusklops. I get why they wanted to get rid of the Dusklops, but I think that was a really bad play, and they would have been much better set up for success if they just saw blocked from the very beginning. But yeah, that's going to be game number 2, and we'll jump into game number 3 in just a moment. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 3, and we're going to be going second. We are going to mulligan this hand away, but fortunately for us, it doesn't really reveal what we're playing all that much. We will get to go Yamask open with a Duskull. We will have Earthen Vessel available, as well as 3 Arven. Jeez. It's a lot more than we probably need. We see Duskull and Fezandipiti from our opponent, which doesn't really tell us too much. But with the multiple Arvens, we'll be able to go like Buddy Poffin here, get ourselves set up a little bit. We'll have Earthen Vessel, so we can place an energy onto our Yamask. Hopefully we don't get KO'd on the following turn, but we'll see what happens. Penny and a Dark Energy. I don't really know what we're playing against. It could just be like a... Okay, there's Brute on it. Is it just Dark Box? There's the Toxic Powder, which does mean our Yamask in the active is probably going to KO'd, because like they can go like Dusklops here and then just like knock it out, so we don't really want to do that. We'll go Arven. We'll go Buddy Poffin for now and just like a Rescue Board. We'll go Buddy Poffin, grab Yamask Natu. We'll Rescue Board the Iono away. Get ourselves 2 energies. We'll put 1 onto the Yamask on the bench and then pass, because then what we can do on our next turn is go Arven for our Hyper Aroma. Get ourselves the our full evolution line. Drop the Rescue Board onto the Yamask in the back. Retreat, bring this in, and go from there. Town Store. I'm not really sure what they're playing yet. Like, is this kind of just like an Okie Dokie Dark Box? But okay, yeah, it is. Okay, there's the Petra run. So they're just playing it with Duskull. I wonder if it's a full Duskull line, or like if it's just like 1/1/1, or what they're kind of doing with it. So they can go Town Store here for the Mochi. I mean, this is fine with us. If we get lucky and we're able to top deck into like a Rare Candy. Okay. I mean, not exactly the same thing, but it will work out kind of all the same for us. Because what we'll be able to do is go Cofagrigus here, Natu. We'll Clairvoyant Sense. Unfortunate. I just realized that Yamask is 2 energies to retreat, so we have to use Arven to go for a switch here. We'll evolve that just to kind of save it for now. We can go Arven, grab Switch, and we'll grab the Devolution. It's not going to come up in this game, so we can actually just kind of toss it for... Alright, bring this in. We'll toss it to get 2 energy out of our deck. Place 1 down. And then from here, what we can do is get ourselves 1 more Duskull and a new Yamask for later. We'll go Hollow Hands. Doing enough damage. We can kind of set this up for later. We'll knock that out. And we'll put enough damage. Like, we'll start putting damage onto the Pecharunt. Okay, there's a Radiant. Because ideally, our next attack will knock out this Okie Dokie. So ideally, what we could do is go energy down onto the Cofagrigus. Alright. Never mind, we're going to be a tad bit short. But if they can't power it up this turn, we're fine. It all just depends on what cards are in their hand. They'll still be able to go flip the script here for a couple more cards. They would need, like, Janine's and a energy from hand. Crispin also works. Wait, are they not playing any other energy? Because if they were playing any other energy type, they'd be able to... Okay, very odd choice. Okay, this is actually fine. Because we can actually still knock both of these out. Potentially. What we'll do is we'll go Arven here. Grab ourselves the Rare Candy. Because we can go Rare Candy Duskull, drop 13. We still need Duskull, though, is the problem. Alright, we'll go Clairvoyant Sense here. We need to get into Dusklops. Okay, perfect. So we can go Ultra Ball here. Get rid of this, and we'll get rid of the Iono. Grab ourselves the Dusklops. We'll go Dusklops down. Curse Blast onto this. That'll put it in range that we will KO it with the Cofagrigus attack. Then we can go Rare Candy onto Dusknoir. Curse Blast. To put 130 here. And that'll KO that with Dusknoir as well, or with Cofagrigus as well. So now we go Hollow Hands. And we put the rest onto this. KOing both of those. Taking 4 prizes. And then from here, what we can do is we can just look to set up like a new Duskull or whatever it is that we can get out. Or we could, like, if we get KO'd here, what we can do is honestly use Cofagrigus' ability to get ourselves the Rescue Stretcher. Use Rescue Stretcher to get ourselves Alakazam. Power up Alakazam with the energy in our hand. And just bring that in and KO them based on how many energy they put. Or how many cards they have in their hand. Even more so if we can get into like a boss's orders. They go for a boss's orders of their own. Doesn't make sense that they would play it if they're gonna go Toxic Powder here. I think they're just stuck. Okay, there's Janine's. So they can knock out Cofagrigus here if they need another Dark Patch and an energy attachment. Okay, there's one. Okay, they're gonna pass. We'll go Buddy Poffin here. I don't really need either of these. I can keep what I have. I think at this point, we drop this. We'll go ahead and Clairvoyant Sense. See what we're able to draw. Get a counter catcher that's pretty dead at this point. We'll just throw this into our hand. I think we just go Hollow Hands here. Prep the damage, and then we'll put... At this point, it doesn't really matter. We'll throw... I guess we'll just throw it onto the Luminion, make it a little bit easier to KO later. But at this point, what we'll do is, even if they retreat this out, which they can do, because all they have to do is find themselves another Petrarant. They put an energy onto this, they knock out our Cofagrigus, our ability activates, we bring in a new Cofagrigus, and then we just go for the, what's it called? We just grab ourselves the boss's orders out of our deck, and we pull up this Brute Bonnet again. Now, yeah, because they can't go Penny, there's no way they're playing, like, Super Scoop Up. This will be the Ultra Ball for the other Petrarant. Or Monkey Dory? Are they trolling? I guess I just have to assume the other, whatever other energy type they play is prized, and their other Petrarant is prized, which is super unlucky, but it's why, it's like, you can't play Crispin if you're playing only one other copy of the other energy type. Like, I feel like that's really bad. But, hey, we'll take the win. That's going to be game number 3. Pretty weird one, but hey, it wasn't against the control deck, so that's something. But yeah, that's going to be game number 3. I hope you guys like the deck. It's a lot of fun to play, and it does better than you might think it does. Cofagrigus is super, super cool. So, one of my favorite Pokemon from its generation. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Like I said, if you want to try the deck out for yourself, it'll be down in the description below. And yeah, that's just about it. I think I said this already, but again, for the YouTube alg, like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. The channel is not nearly, but it's getting close to 2,000 subs, so that's super, super cool. And thank you guys so much for 1 year on the channel. It's been an incredible ride. I'm going to be announcing the giveaway in the next video, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, I think that's just about it. I want to give a special shout out again to the channel members. Thank you guys so much for being along this journey with me. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.